Game of the year in the NBA. Could it be a finals preview? Thunder and Celtics. Let's set the stage. OKC, NBA best 12-game win streak. SGA averaging 30 points on 56% shooting during the run. He is the favorite to win the MVP. If he does, it will be 2 straight. On the other side, Celtics have their own MVP candidate, Jalen Brown. He scored 25 or more in his last 4 games. He currently has the 5th shortest odds to win MVP. And obviously, he is now working back into business, his former running mate and longtime running mate, Jason Tatum. He's been struggling with his shot, as you might expect, under 30% the last 2 games, on pace for a career low in field goal and three-point percentage. But the point here is that he's working his way back from injury and getting healthy, and these 2 teams have the shortest odds to make the finals at DraftKings. Thunder are the odds-on favorites, Celtics right behind, followed by the Cavs, the Spurs, and the Knicks. So here we go. Alan Hahn, I'm asking you right now to bet that palatial estate of yours out there on Long Island on one of these 2 teams. I'm telling you, the Celtics and Thunder, who play tonight, one of them, but not both, going to wind up in the NBA Finals. Which one is it?
Well, we know Windy made his hotel plans for Oklahoma City in last June. Right. So I'm with him. I think that's the team you can bet on.
OKC is in.
Yes. For Boston, while right now they look like the team to beat in the East the way they've been playing, I don't think they have an easy path out of the East. Not as easy as most people think. People are talking about the Eastern Conference as if it's weak. It's obviously not as deep as the Western Conference, but make no mistake, the Celtics are going to have their hands full because the Knicks and the Pistons have something to say about them getting out of the East. Consider this, of the top 4 teams in the top 2 in the East and top 2 in the West, the Celtics this year are 2-8 against those teams. They are again 2-5 against the Knicks and against the Pistons. So you can't tell me that it's an easy road out of the East because they don't play well against those teams ahead of them.
Shump, we're talking about the Celtics at the top of that Eastern Conference. You're looking at the Knicks, you're looking at the Pistons, who've been there all year, and we would expect they'll have Cade Cunningham back by the time the playoffs begin, and we're looking at the Cavs. What do you think of the Celtics' path to the final?
I agree with Allen on this one, man. I think that the Celtics, though they have a good chance to go, and I get it that they looked better than the Knicks have looked.
Right.
Even though the Knicks are winning right now.
They've won 7 straight.
Exactly, they're winning, but it's not jumping off the screen the way we wanted to jump off the screen.
Boston is not.
The Knicks are.
The Knicks are not.
Which is why we're so up on Boston.
Knicks Celtics right now. If they met, the Knicks beat them last.
I'm not putting nobody over the Knicks, man. We had to go in there. Y'all thought the Celtics was gonna win. We had to go in there. We had to steal us one on the Celtics home floor. So check it out. I feel like the Knicks can do it. I feel like this was always the Knicks conference to lose this year. But when we talking about the rest of the Eastern Conference, I agree with Allen. I think it's more evenly yoked.
Well, let me ask it to you this way, because the Knicks have had such a roller coaster of a season. Yeah. I hear from their fans in the street every day. One day they're winning the championship, and the next day they need to get rid of everybody.
Well,
if everyone plays their best, if all these teams play, if the Celtics are about as good as they can be, the Knicks are about as good as they can be, the Pistons are about as good as they can be, and let's put Cleveland in there as well. Which team do you think would emerge?
I think Detroit would if everybody's healthy.
If everyone's healthy.
Yeah, I do not like the matchup for the Knicks or Boston when Detroit is fully healthy and ready to go.
What do you think?
Completely disagree. I think it's setting up for that. I think the Knicks right now with 7 in a row, let's not overlook that. Yes, the winning percentage of the teams that they've beaten is not high, 293, but you take care of business. But look at this. The Knicks are number 3 in offensive rating, number 5 in defensive rating, number 5 in net rating. Top 5 in all 3 categories. There's only 2 other teams, the Celtics and the Spurs, who are doing that. The last 2 NBA champions, top 5 in all 3 categories. You have to give the Knicks respect for what they've done this season. They went from being 18th in defense back in the middle of January to the top 5 defense overall. They've made a lot of adjustments throughout this season. They are playing their best basketball heading into the playoffs. They are the dangerous team in the East.
They are dangerous. I'm going to agree with you there. But I want to be in New York come June too. Y'all want to be in New York?
Yes.
Do everybody else want to be in New York?
I want you in New York.
I would love to be in New York.
Knicks
fans want me in, everybody want me in New York. I would love to be in New York. Do I think it's going to happen if Detroit is healthy? They've had their number all year, and it's bothering me.
Yeah.
When I'm at home, it's bothering me.
Last year, Boston had the Knicks number all regular season. Then they went into Boston.
Yeah, but that's why JB's getting done what he's getting done. But we're talking about Detroit.
And we'll see what happens with Cunningham again. I think the expectation is he'll be back in time for the playoffs. We have a doubleheader coming.
Sometimes they got to ruffle some feathers. Atkinson and the Cavs sit in the 4th spot in the East, where Cleveland, the Knicks, and Celtics are all jostling for playoff positioning behind the Pistons. Despite currently being the 4th seed, ESPN Analytics actually gives the Cavs a 25% chance to win the East, second highest of any team in the conference.
NBA analyst Iman Shumpert joins us bright and early here on SportsCenter. And Iman, a fun one tonight between the Celtics and the Thunder, but let's focus on Boston, though. What have you seen from Jason Tatum since he's been back from that Achilles injury?
Since he's been back, I think that he's right on target for what we expect out of a major injury. I know a lot of people are saying that he came back too early. The organization brought him back too early. But this is a competitor we're talking about. This is somebody that cleared all protocols. He made sure he was ahead of schedule for his Achilles injury, and he knows that he wanted to rejoin his team. He didn't want to watch from the sideline, and he definitely didn't want to watch from the locker room. He's one of those guys that wants to be out there. He wants to spill blood in order to get some hardware. And I'm going to tell you what, this Boston Celtics team does not think how the rest of the NBA thinks. They've won before. They've been battle-tested. They've had injuries, guys in and out of the lineup. They feel like they can adjust. Jalen Brown feels like it still could be a championship run because he is a bona fide superstar and a guy that needs to be considered for the MVP race. So when I see Jason Tatum coming back, I'm like, dog, you're right on schedule. Do not take the bait. Make sure you continue to stay in the weight room and continue to go through the ups and downs of the season that are going to happen as you get your legs back. But he will get his legs back. I'm 100% confident that by the playoff time, he will find a rhythm.
Yeah, the mentality is definitely different in Boston. Let's stay in the East. The top-seeded Pistons also in action tonight. Detroit still without Cade Cunningham with a collapsed lung, and the Pistons have 11 games left. However, if Cunningham misses 8 of those games, he'll fall short of the 65-game threshold to be eligible for end-of-the-season awards. And the Players Association, they want to see that rule amended. So, Iman, I want to ask you, should the league reconsider that 65-game rule?
I wouldn't reconsider it. I'm a big guy I'm a guy that's about culture. I'm about what the other guys had to go through. I love the DNA of the NBA. I don't like a lot of stuff changing too much. It'll bother me. I'm one of those guys. I want the whistle to stay the same. I want the technical fouls to stay the same. If Michael Jordan didn't get fined for it, don't fine me for it. I'm one of those guys that believes in basketball that way. But it's an honor to be able to say that you're considered for these awards. And I understand it's unfortunate, but there has to be some sort of standard for the NBA to say you deserve this award, because we're not going to sit here and act like availability is not one of the abilities that you have to have in the NBA.
Yeah, the best ability is availability, and Iman, a man that likes consistency. That has been made clear this morning. Iman, thanks so much for joining us here on SportsCenter.